Back in December of 2025, a young Hindu man named Dipu Chandra was publicly lynched by a mob in Bangladesh. It was an absolutely horrifying act of violence that caught the world's attention. So today, we're going to break down the verified facts to understand how a simple rumor could spiral into such an awful tragedy. You know, this entire heartbreaking story really boils down to this one single terrifying question. The one you see right here. How does a rumor, literally, become a death sentence? Okay, so first things first, let's just establish the undisputed facts of what actually happened on that day. The incident took place in the Mymensingh district of Bangladesh. And we need to be clear, this wasn't some hidden crime or an accident. This was a public attack carried out by a huge angry crowd, right out in the open for everyone to see. But before we get any deeper into the what happened, it's so important to talk about the who. This wasn't just a name in a news report. Dipu Das was a real person with a life, a family, and a future. So who was he? Dipu Chandra Das was just 25 years old. Think about that. He worked in a garment factory, lived in a rented home, and was supporting his family. By all accounts, he was just an ordinary young man trying to make his way in the world. Right, so how on earth does something like this happen? How does an ordinary garment worker suddenly become the target of a lynch mob? Well, it all started with a single, unverified claim. And here's the spark that lit the whole fuse, an unverified allegation. The claim was that Dipu had said something that hurt religious sentiments, and I have to stress that keyword again, unverified. There was absolutely no proof. The way this spiraled out of control, it's just chillingly fast. It all started with that one unproven accusation. Then misinformation takes over, spreading like wildfire, and emotions just escalate. And before anyone could even check the facts, a mob had formed, and all that anger just exploded. And the end result, it's just brutal. The crowd beat Dipu to death. And then in a final, horrifying act, they burned his body in public, right near a highway. It was an act of extreme public violence that rightfully drew horror from all over the world. Okay, so after a crime this public, this horrific, what happens next? What did the authorities do? Let's take a look at the official response. Well, eventually the police did get there and managed to get the situation under control. They secured the scene, sent the body for an autopsy, and of course, launched a full murder investigation. And that investigation led to the arrest of several suspects. But this is the question that hangs over everything. After all that chaos, after a man lost his life, was there any truth to the rumor that started it all? And the answer, after all the digging by investigators, was a resounding no. They stated it clearly. They found zero solid evidence to back up the allegation. The entire tragedy was fueled by nothing more than misinformation and hysteria. You know, something this shocking, it's never just a local story. The killing of Dipu Das sent shockwaves far beyond that one highway, sparking outrage and concern across the whole region. And the reactions were really interesting. Inside Bangladesh, you had people marching in the streets. They weren't just demanding justice for Dipu, they were calling for better protection for all minority groups. Then you look over at neighboring India, and the response was more official, more diplomatic, with leaders urging the Bangladeshi government to take strong action and protect human rights. So, why are we talking about this? Why does this one tragic story matter to all of us, no matter where we live? Because honestly, the case of Dipu Das holds critical lessons about justice, community, and the very real dangers of misinformation. So what are the big takeaways here? Well, first, mob rule is not justice. It's the opposite. It's the total collapse of justice. Second, and this is so crucial today, unverified rumors aren't just gossip. They can literally be weapons. This also shows us how urgently we need to protect vulnerable communities. And finally, it hammers home a basic principle. Accusations belong in a courtroom with evidence, not in the hands of an angry mob on the street. When you boil it all down, the message is pretty simple, right? A society can't build its future on hatred. Core values like justice, empathy, and just basic humanity, those have to win out over raw anger every single time. And that really leaves all of us with a huge question to think about. We live in this age of instant information, where a lie can circle the globe before the truth even gets its shoes on. So the challenge for you, for me, for everyone, is how do we choose reason over rage?